What is Cafe Mocha? Experts, celebrities.
Hey, this is John Legend.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
I am Ian Levinson.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Tamar Braxton.
Music and features from a woman's perspective. Intriguing conversation. The Swag Award. Espresso. The MC Light Mix. Radio from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. I'm Angelique.
And I'm MC Light.
I'm Lonnie Love. And this weekend, we have a serious topic.
The gun violence in Chicago has become so bad, ladies. On the streets, they are calling it Chirac.
We've got the makers of the new documentary called Gunland coming up. Plus, I think we're going to flash back, Light, if you don't mind. Talk about the making of self-destruction and what you think hip-hop can do now to sort of curb the violence.
Absolutely.
I really can do it.
Right here on Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. I'm Angelique.
I'm MC Light.
I'm Lonnie Love.
You have been to at least one of his websites. Maybe it's Bossa, Madame Noire, maybe Hip Hop Wired.
And now Moguldom Studios has a new film focused on gun violence called Gunland.
Please welcome to the show, Barion Grant. Hey, Barion.
Hi, thank you both for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? You started off with simple blogs, and now you're making full-length movies. First of all, thank you for Bossa, because that's how I get all my information.
Thank you.
Barion, before we get into Gunland, I just, out of curiosity, when you guys met to discuss the films that would go out for the year, did you decide how many you would actually do for the year?
Yes, I knew it was going to be an aggressive amount of films. We started out at 10, and then we went to 6. I know that it was the goal to really produce volume and really, engage the audience in a way that was consistent. So we ended up with the total number of 6 for the year. And 10, I wouldn't have been talking to you on the phone right now if we were committed to that.
Where will these show? Will they be on these sites, or is this looking to do distribution through theaters?
Well, you can go to moguldomstudios.com. That's MOGULDOM studios.com, and you can actually view our films through that site. It'll lead you to iTunes, it'll lead you to Amazon, it will lead you to Google Play. We actually have deluxe versions of our films through a platform called VHX, where not only can you see the full-length version of the doc, you can see some of the stuff that kind of made it to the cutting room floor, but we thought was still interesting. So there's deluxe versions available through VHX. So we have a very, very aggressive kind of digital distribution strategy, because we see that the industry is changing. So we aren't going the traditional theatrical route. We're really looking to see what we can do on the digital distribution front, really fueling it through social media, fueling it through conversations on our site, fueling it through, as much as we can in the digital space with Black Twitter, and kind of keeping the conversation going there and leading people to the docs.
We're talking to Barion Grant. His new documentary is called Gunland, and it's about the gun violence in Chicago. On the way, we're going to talk about the actual movie.
This is Cafe Mocha. We are on the line with Barion Grant, the creator of Gunland, which is a new documentary. I actually was talking to someone earlier today, and I wonder, does your film touch on the fact that so many schools have been closed down, and they're sort of integrating all of these schools and all of these different neighborhoods and causing kids to walk through neighborhoods that they normally wouldn't have to, and then also being in classrooms where they're obviously, have some tension and opposition. Does your film touch on this at all?
We did not touch on the schools being shut down. We did talk about the correlation between, education and, young African Americans, especially males, going to prison. So we did talk about, the connection between guns and drugs as well. So, there were connections that were made that, we like to give new information. That's one of the things that we really want to do with our documentaries. So, one of the things that we pointed out was that, a lot of people say, well, where are these guns coming from? So we made the connection between guns and drugs.
Okay.
And about 50% of the drugs that are coming into the United States are coming from the Sinaloa cartel. and they're in Mexico. It's a Mexican cartel where the leader of the cartel is based in Chicago. He was recently arrested in 2014 in February, but people started to understand, like, okay, if there's this, if the connection between drugs and guns, once we started to make that make sense, and we showed how, drugs were coming from Mexico, coming into Chicago, and the guns that were related to that, and then people that were living in, poor and, just kind of underprivileged neighborhoods, and kind of, that it becomes a system, it becomes a cycle, it becomes a lifestyle. So we really talked about how that really happened and the correlation between guns and drugs, but we didn't touch so much on, the school systems that were closing down.
It's Cafe Mocha. We're talking to Barion Grant. Gunland is the documentary. And again, how do people find it?
They can go to MoguldomStudios.com, or they can go to iTunes, or they can go to Google Play, and they can search for Gunland, Gunlane.
All right. Thank you, Barion.
Website, because y'all know y'all don't know how to spell Moguldom. I don't know how to pronounce it, almost. So.
Thank you so much, Barion. We appreciate you getting on the line with us and explaining the film, and we're excited to see it, but more importantly, to spread the word about it. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Cafe Mocha. It's Cafe Mocha. On the way, MC Light is going to talk about the historic Stop the Violence movement. Plus, next hour, Roland Martin chimes in on the Clippers and Donald Sterling. It's Cafe Mocha. We're talking about gun violence, prison system, and it made me think about the song we grew up with. It came out in
many moons ago,
right?
89,
called Self-Destruction, and the whole movement behind that.
Stop the Violence movement.
I want to talk about what prompted you guys, and then what you think hip hop needs to do today to sort of stop the violence.
Well, what's ironic that it's ironic that you should ask at this moment, because about 2 days ago I ran into Scott LaRock's mom.
Okay.
And that's what catapulted this whole thing, was her son dying due to gun violence. Mm-hmm. And of course, KRS-One was directly affected and said that we need to do something. At that point, there was all types of fist fights breaking out in clubs and people getting slashed and shot, and it just was upside down. And so he thought to take a moment like that and really shine the light on us taking responsibility for our behavior. Mm-hmm. And I think from it, we were able to cut down on the violence substantially.
But looking at today, and the influence of hip-hop is even bigger. Mm-hmm. It's even more widespread than it was in 89. Do you feel like, the industry can do something now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the folks that are out there that are garnering all the attention have all the say-so in the world. They usually use that mouthpiece to say something of importance, and they can sway an entire nation because they're opinion leaders. And I did get a chance to see a little clip of T.I. and Snoop speaking, I believe, on a BET panel where they're talking about violence, and they're talking about how, T.I. lost one of his very, very good friends.
His bodyguard.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, his bodyguard, but also his friend. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's touching everyone, everywhere. So it's about us just speaking up about it. And, not to mention, because I don't want to forget, we're all in the same gang, which is what the West Coast did, because when the East Coast kicked it off with Self-Destruction, it definitely influenced them, because they were all being hit with all types of violence as well.
Right.
But I like Self-Destruction better.
You about to pull an East Coast, West Coast thing? Stop it, Lonnie.
Trying to start a rivalry.
Already. All right, we're looking forward to you putting something together, putting Drake and T.I. and Snoop and everybody in a room and setting it off.
Making that my duty.
That's right.
We'll be back with more Cafe Mocha.
I know.
Do you remember the name of Essence Magazine's longtime editor-in-chief, who was the first act to headline the Essence Festival 20 years ago. If you're a hardcore fan of Essence, Cafe Mocha may be hooking you up with tickets to the 2014 Essence Festival presented by Coca-Cola. Click like on our Facebook page at Cafe Mocha Radio and then get ready for Essence Trivia. Each question you correctly answer registers you for tickets to the 20th anniversary Essence Festival presented by Coca-Cola. Log on to CafeMochaRadio.com for more details.
This is Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk about it. The big scandal with Donald Sterling and the Clippers. Roland Martin joins us to chime in about what we do next. It's Cafe Mocha. It's Cafe Mocha on the line from TV One News One Now. It is Mr. Roland Martin. How are you, man?
Doing great.
Okay, now everybody is following this Donald Sterling of the Clippers situation. I understand he's been banned for life and fined. You've been talking to people. What's the word inside the NBA? Can they really kick him out and force him out like that?
Oh, absolutely. You have 30 NBA owners. Their bylaws are very strict, and one of them, you can kick a franchise based upon gambling, but it will require 3/4 of the owners to vote to remove him, to force him to sell. This is an exclusive club. They control the rules. They set the rules as to who gets in and who gets out.
I really a lot of people didn't think the NBA was going to do very much, so all of us have to be excited that he's banned for life. But now some folks want to go a step further, and they're upset with the NAACP, the LA chapter, for taking his money in the first place. What have you heard about that?
I think, first of all, I think people need to discuss scale and proportionality. First, Donald Sterling is the main dish. That's who he is. We can't get sidetracked to think that the NAACP, which is a side dish, is somehow the entree. That's not. Should we be demanding answers in terms of how could the local chapter, the LA chapter of the NAACP, honor him based upon his record and his history? Absolutely. But I'm not losing sight of what is the main issue, and that is Donald Sterling.
Well, now, I'm talking to Roland Martin. Did you hear that the state chair of the NAACP was trying to get the LA president kicked out because of this?
I have not heard that. Alice Hoffman is the state chair of the NAACP, long time ahead. That's no surprise to me. There are lots of questions that are being raised, and I believe that Leon Jenkins, the president of the LA chapter, needs to answer more questions. So why in the world would you give somebody a Lifetime Achievement Award for a $5,000 grant from his foundation? My deal is, you can be sold out that easy.
Wow, there it is. Talking to Roland Martin about Clippers owner, or soon-to-be non-owner, Donald Sterling. More coming up right here on Cafe Mocha. It's Cafe Mocha. We have Roland Martin on the line from TV One News One Now. You can catch it on TV One at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, there's already talks. Dr. Dre has already said, I want to buy the Clippers. Count me in. We know Magic is on the list. Are you hearing any other buzz about who might be up for buying the Clippers?
Oh, here's the deal. You gotta understand. Owning a professional sports team in Los Angeles is the creme de la creme. It is the second largest media market. It means guaranteed dollars. It's high profile. And look, for decades, the Clippers sucked. And they were one of the worst NBA franchises known to man. Now, all of a sudden, it's a hot destination. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, and others. And so you have Dr. Dre's name being thrown out there. Of course, Magic Johnson. Diddy's name is out there. Any number of African Americans with a means, no doubt, want to be part of an ownership group if they can get control of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Now, a lot of people saw the Clippers' little protest, turning their shirts inside out, wearing little black things as, weak. What would you want them to do? Because to me, it's like, look, we ain't working. Game's off.
No. We are making a mistake by belittling what they did.
Okay.
So we shouldn't call it little, we shouldn't call it small.
Okay.
Think about it this way. We're always complaining about athletes not taking things, about not saying anything. So all of a sudden, we expect them to go from 0 to 80. We expect them to go from all of a sudden not taking their things to all of a sudden becoming a freedom fighter, a freedom rider in the 60s. No. And so what we should be saying is we should be encouraging what they did. We should be saying, I'm glad they took that sort of thing. And then the question now is, all right, what after this? The Montgomery bus boycott lasts 281 days. But if it didn't start with day one, it would have never got to 381 days.
Right.
I think what we have to do is stop being so critical and say, I'm glad y'all took that step. Now, let's go to the next level.
All right. Thank you for chiming in. Have a good one.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye. Your Cafe Mocha Espresso is brought to you by the 2014 Essence Festival presented by Coca-Cola. And this weekend on the road to Essence Festival, they're in Chicago. So if you walk into the Walmart in Forest Park, Illinois and see Kendra the Family Soul and Selena Johnson performing, don't say I didn't tell you. Congrats to 12 Years a Slave's Lupita Nyong'o for being named People's Most Beautiful.
What an incredible journey to go from that feeling to being on the cover of this magazine. I mean, you could have never told me that would happen when I was 16 and insecure about my complexion.
Cafe Mocha has your tickets to see Prince. Comedian Tracy Morgan shares his favorite Prince story.
Yes, I got kicked out of Prince's house, man. Just partying, drinking, the Prince. And when he kicked me out, as I was leaving out the door, I grabbed him by the back of the neck and I pulled his face close to me. I said, my father loved when doves cry. And he was so pretty. He had that little mole right there, a little piece of my tongue came out. I was like,
Prince is just one of the many acts performing at the 2014 Essence Festival presented by Coca-Cola. Want tickets? Log on to CafeMochaRadio.com. I'm Angelique, and that's the Espresso.
This is Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. You have now stepped inside of the Light Mix with yours truly, MC Light. I'm taking y'all back. That's how we do in the Light Mix. Keep it right here. It's Cafe Mocha.
Don't be afraid.
All right, ladies, time to sing along. It's Cafe Mocha. Please believe it. Sing along. Light Mix, Cafe Mocha.
Seems like ever since strong enough to be with again.
It's Cafe Mocha. You're inside the Light Mix. Yours truly, Light on the mic. And I got Angelique and Lonnie Love on standby. Please be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Download the app. It's real. Cafe Mocha Radio. We gets it in. And right now, I'm just taking y'all down memory lane. Feel this sweet instrumental. We'll get back to it right here, Cafe Mocha. Oh, yes. A bit of nostalgia here on Cafe Mocha. More mixes like this available at CafeMochaRadio.com, or you can get at MC Light. Follow me. I do mixes all the time. Give them away for free online. Everybody like free 99, don't they? It's all here, Cafe Mocha. Enjoy. Thank Thanks again for tuning in. It is CafeMochaRadio.com. Look us up. Yours truly, MC Light. Back to the ladies.
Wrapping up the show with the Light Mix. Don't forget, we've got your tickets to the 2014 Essence Festival, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Just log on to CafeMochaRadio.com for all the details. Next weekend, make sure you join us. We're celebrating Mother's Day.
Right about now.
Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in association with Cumulus Media Networks. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge, writer and producer Angelique Perrin. For comments and more information, visit CafeMochaRadio.com.